In life, every person has limits. These limits can be physical, mental, emotional, or even social. Understanding and respecting these limits is very important for mental health and overall well-being. When people cross their limits, they often face stress, anxiety, and disappointment. Psychology explains that human beings have a natural threshold for what they can handle. Pushing beyond this threshold repeatedly can lead to mental fatigue, emotional breakdown, and even physical illness. Learning to recognize your boundaries is not a weakness, it is a form of self-respect and self-awareness. Our minds have a finite capacity for dealing with challenges, and when we acknowledge our limits, we allow ourselves to operate more efficiently and calmly. Boundaries also protect us from being exploited by others, which can happen if we constantly say yes to everything or take on more than we can handle. Respecting limits helps in decision-making. When you know what you can and cannot do, you make choices that are realistic and achievable. This prevents frustration and boosts confidence because every goal you achieve stays within your capacity, making you feel competent and strong. On the other hand, when you cross limits recklessly, the mind becomes restless. Stress hormones increase, sleep patterns get disrupted, and thinking clearly becomes difficult. Even small tasks start to feel heavy, and over time, this mental exhaustion can reduce productivity and happiness. Therefore, respecting limits is essential not only for mental peace, but also for success and efficiency. Another principle connected to mental freedom is the idea that the less you want, the freer your mind becomes. Desire is a natural part of being human, but excessive desire can be harmful. Wanting too much leads to restlessness because the mind becomes focused on what it does not have, rather than appreciating what it already has. Psychology explains that humans are often driven by reward systems in the brain. Every time we want something and do not get it, the brain releases stress chemicals like cortisol, which make us anxious and unhappy. Continuous pursuit of more and more things keeps the mind in a state of tension. By reducing desires, a person reduces this constant tension. When you learn to want less, your mind stops chasing endlessly. It stops comparing itself to others and stops feeling incomplete. This brings peace and clarity. Wanting less does not mean giving up on goals or ambitions. It means prioritizing what truly matters and letting go of unnecessary cravings. This makes the mind light and flexible. A mind with fewer desires is less burdened by fear, jealousy, or frustration. It can focus better, think more clearly, and feel more content. Psychologists often link the freedom of the mind to the concept of simplicity. When a person simplifies their desires, they automatically simplify their lifestyle. Simplicity reduces stress because fewer things are competing for attention. It also reduces decision fatigue because there are fewer choices to make and fewer worries to handle. The human brain can process only so much information at a time. The more you desire, the more your attention gets scattered. The less you want, the more focused and calm your mind becomes. In practical terms, this can mean wanting fewer material things, fewer approvals from others, or fewer unnecessary experiences. When desires are controlled, the mind can focus on learning, self-growth, relationships, and creativity. Psychology also teaches that human happiness does not depend on fulfilling every desire. Many studies have shown that people with moderate desires are often happier than those with extreme desires. Happiness comes from satisfaction, not accumulation. When a person constantly chases desires, satisfaction keeps moving farther away, like trying to catch the horizon. This is why people who want too much often feel empty or frustrated, even when they have many things. On the contrary, those who want less find joy in small things. They appreciate life more, and their mind stays calm and free. This freedom of mind also improves emotional intelligence. When a person is not overwhelmed by desires, they can better understand their emotions and the emotions of others. They can respond to situations thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Emotional control is a key component of mental freedom, and it is easier to achieve when the mind is not burdened by excessive wants. The principle of not crossing limits is directly connected to the principle of reducing desires. If a person constantly crosses limits, they often do so because they desire more than they can handle. For example, someone might work extra hours for wealth or status, neglecting health and relationships. This desire to have more pushes them beyond their physical and emotional capacity. Over time, this causes burnout, anxiety, and even depression. Learning to stay within limits helps in managing desires. When you know what you can reasonably achieve and what is beyond your capacity, you naturally start wanting less. Your goals become realistic, and your mind becomes peaceful. This balance between respecting limits and reducing desires is essential for a free and healthy mind. Psychologists also link the freedom of mind to self-discipline. Self-discipline means controlling impulses and being able to say no when necessary. It is the ability to delay gratification and resist unnecessary desires. A disciplined mind does not get trapped by instant pleasures or distractions. It focuses on long-term benefits rather than temporary satisfaction. For example, a person who practices moderation in eating, spending, or working will have a more balanced mind. They will experience less anxiety, less guilt, and more inner peace. Discipline helps in maintaining limits, and it also helps in reducing excessive wants. The two principles reinforce each other. Together, they create a mental state that is calm, strong, and clear. The concept of less desire, more freedom is also closely connected to mindfulness. Mindfulness is a psychological practice where a person pays full attention to the present moment without judgment. When a mind is free from excessive desires, mindfulness becomes easier. The person can fully experience life, notice small details, and enjoy simple pleasures. This brings satisfaction and reduces stress. Crossed limits and uncontrolled desires often distract the mind from the present. The mind either worries about past failures or craves future achievements. Both lead to mental unrest. By limiting desires and respecting boundaries, a person trains the mind to live in the now. This not only increases happiness, but also improves cognitive functions like memory, creativity, and decision-making. Moreover, social psychology explains that people who understand these principles often have better relationships. When a person respects limits, they avoid overburdening others with unrealistic expectations. They also avoid conflicts that arise from greed, jealousy, or overcompetition. Similarly, people who want less tend to be more generous and empathetic. Their minds are not consumed by selfish cravings, so they have more space to care for others. Healthy relationships are built on understanding, respect, and shared happiness, all of which flourish when desires are moderate and limits are respected. Another important point from psychology is that freedom of mind contributes to resilience. Resilience is the ability to recover from stress, difficulties, or failures. When the mind is free from excessive desires, it is not easily shaken by setbacks. People with moderate desires accept failures without intense frustration. They focus on what they can do rather than lament what they cannot have. Similarly, respecting personal limits prevents overwhelming stress that can weaken resilience. In other words, knowing what you can handle and being content